Good morning. How is everybody? Let me see. Raise this a little bit. Well, happy President's Day. So much is going on. What I think we need to do is give a little bit of love today to, first and foremost, yourself, and then to America, and perhaps then to the world. I'm going to do a reading today that, as I was working and studying through things this weekend, I thought it would. And from Serapis Bay, the gentleman that the master who's in charge of Ascension, and he told me I could channel him, but I thought it may be more meaningful for you to have me read it to you in his words and deepen your awareness of what happens at Luxor and what St. Serapis Bay feels about everyone um, moving to God. So I know my background is off centered. It came very small. So I wanted you to see the process here of raising. And I thought the pink was beautiful. So I hope in some way it speaks to each of you. If not, let me know and we'll get something else. All right, Morby, let's see. We have Cavell. And if you want to talk to me today, Cavell, you can just, you want to do it here or you can talk to me at a later time. It's up to you. And good morning, Carol. I did have an interesting weekend. We did a lot of trying to reset this whole office. You wouldn't believe how much is in here that we had to go through and sort out. And then we hit, uh-oh, not big enough. So I didn't want to have it poke out from above my head. So Barbara, good morning. Barbara Ward and Marby. So let's set our energy. So as for the tube of light, beloved, I am presence bright, round me sail your tube of light, from ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Let it keep our temple free, from all discord sent to us. I am calling forth the violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. Now, doing that one doesn't do anything, so we need to do the other two. One is a little bit faster. Beloved, I am presence bright, round me sail your tube of light, from ascended master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I am calling forth the violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. And third time, a little faster. Beloved, I am presence bright, round me sail your tube of light, from within the master flame, called forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I'm calling forth the violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till we are one with the violet flame. We reach out to Lord Gautama Buddha and his protective blue flame to come out around our tube of light, 4 inches around, giving us complete protection for whatever we may come upon today. Okay? And in the beginning, you might want to do it a number of times a day to make sure of your level of protection. As soon as you have emotion or something comes up, it's gone. So, let's see. Oh, she loves my image. Delphi, good morning. Dante to all love. All right. So we're going to ask Mother and Father to come and sit within our hearts. And I want you to take a breath and let your energy focus itself there with them for a moment to begin to feel the calmness and the love that they bring into you. Very good. We're going to ask for all the angels to come who can be around us, and all the ascended masters. And we can ask for all those who have such profound light in the universe to come and join us as long as they're completely on their light path. All right. So I kind of wanted to ask first, good morning, Anik and Lauren, how everyone is doing on the path with all that's going on outside of us. And I understand, and if you don't know, I'll let you know, peace lies within us. The earth lies within us. So all that we see going on outside of us uh, is us, really. And it shows us where yet we must heal to allow the earth to have peace. So, food to thought, I'm going to read you books that were written long time ago that speak exactly about what is here now. And this book is just their 1995. It's just what gathered them together. But we all know that Saint Germain and the Masters have been on the earth plane for a very long time. So let me read it, and then we'll have a conversation afterwards about what and how it may have touched you, and maybe what you didn't know. This is going to talk about Luxor. And if you didn't know that Luxor, the temple, pyramid, used to be where we all traveled through to ascend. If you get the Keys of Enoch, it'll show you a beautiful image of people, all the different levels of people going through the temple of Luxor to reach ascension. But this article here gives us a little bit more of an experience of that. And then I'm going to read you words of Serapis Bey. All right? Hard morning emotionally, but I keep replacing hurt and confusion with peace and acceptance. Very good. And we will send everybody some healing light while we're doing this. All right. So, the honoring of the ascension flame at Luxor through the conscious recognition and cooperation of individuals functioning yet in the physical appearance world, talking about us, is another milestone on the pathway of progress from darkness into light. The ascension flame in itself is a bridge from the third dimensional world into the inner spheres, where emancipated man may feel freely in his fulfilled destiny. It is the most powerful concentrated action of the force of light by which the gravity pull of earth is reversed, and the soul of man is swept upward again into the God estate from whence he has come. The keepers of this cosmic bridge of pure flame are the Brotherhood at Luxor. Together with their great hierarchy, have maintained a constant watch over the focus of the sacred fire, so that whenever a few members of the race might desire to return home within the yearly course of each minor cycle, could have the impetus of the concentrated power of the sacred fire, which has been drawn from Atlantis and sustained to the present day through the fidelity of the few. The Brotherhood at Luxor, as well as all visiting members of the hierarchy, last evening wore white robes. The beloved Serapis wearing the headdress of the retreat, a golden band with two wings of flame from the forehead, which was the sole distinguishing characteristic of his high office. He is the master of ascension. The Luxor Brotherhood entered the sanctuary of the sacred fire, and at the given moment, the entire 1,000 members stepped consciously within that flame. In exactly the same manner as physical fuel expands a fire, so did their individual heart flame westward to the tip of Africa, northward to cover the entire European continent, southward to the Cape of Good Hope, and eastward through the Arabian Sea to India. This was the size of the great flaming lily of white fire before its transmission around the world began. And you will note that it covered a great deal of the landed surface of the earth, where particular world conditions at present warrant the assistance of the Brotherhood in dissipating voices of evil. So this can't be talking about where we are, because this was written and spoken of a very long time ago. As Serapis Bey has prepared the Brotherhood for the direction of the flame, all breathed it in, and it was sent to the retreat of Jesus and Mary in Arabia, forward to India, and then followed the same track as previously used around the entire globe. Whereas the previous flame, called the circle of Earth, several thousand feet above its surface, this time, through the cooperation of the forces of nature, the flame was projected right along the surface of the land and sea, so that the physical bodies of man and beast were permeated with its pressure, and not only the inner bodies constructively affected. It acted in measure like a razor cutting the lines of force, which connected the consciousness and the vehicles of the inhabitants of Earth with the downward currents which have grounded the consciousness. As this was repeated over and over again, the pull of the senses, appetites, and passions, which are all part of the gravity by which man is held in the lower octaves, was tremendously lessened. So, if you really want to think about it, that's what we're all on our path for, to move more towards the light, to return from this. And I'm going to read now from Serapis Bey, which I think speaks it a little bit clearer. Okay, let me see. I see things here written. Very good, Barbara Ward. Yes, it is true. On my path, there have been times where I'm up and I'm down, I'm up and I'm down. So I want you to look as much as you can to your emotional state, and that would be in the second chakra, and maybe not allow so many things be going on, because as you're going on your path, you are releasing and healing emotional pieces that are, for the moment, in charge. So you want to just keep after it. And good morning, Jules. Nice to have you here. All right. So I want to get back to Serapis Bey. So this is what he has to say. All of the world is seeking peace, individually, nationally, and internationally. That peace comes only when the outer self voluntarily returns, like the prodigal son, to the home of the Father and decides to surrender the personal will and purpose to the wisdom and design of the God self. So he's going to explain it a little bit better. Watching through the centuries, the constant conflict between the light within the soul of man, which desired to come home, and the ceaseless demands of the senses for the use of life to gratify their temporary appetites. I am well equipped to engage into the joyous endeavors of the cosmic law, to bring in every man who honestly is willing to pay the price. And what is the price? To surrender to the personal self, to the presence of God within. What a huge statement that went over me like a fire. And I'll repeat it. What is the price, in essence, from becoming the light? It is the surrender of the personal self to the presence of God. Many times through the centuries I have stood absolutely alone, guarding the flame at Luxor, and every one of my disciples, grasping in his hands the gift of life, went forth, each one taking some blind alley, seeking happiness and peace, the blessed ones, scattering the precious life energy carelessly upon their journey. Sooner or later, coming to the end of the road, where stood the karmic angel with the flaming sword, who pointed them back along the very path they had just been on. And to each one the angel gave a basket, commanding the soul to gather up the life energy thrown away in careless abandon on the heedless adventure. Ah, the wearisome return, reaping the harvest of tears and the soul required to wipe away the traces of carelessly expended energies from the life streams that had passed upon the road, until again each one came to the point from whence he had started forth. Here, for a time, subdued and humbled, the soul light again asserted its desire for freedom, and into Luxor would return aspirants. I, mirroring the karma of the centuries in my heart, would bind up the wounds of experience and endeavor to provide the necessary disciplines and applications by which the seeds of undeveloped vices might never grow, and prod the, the young student to another journey in a world of earth, and I would hope and pray. But when the flame flowed freely, and the memory of the unpleasant journey of the past grew dim, and the life vitalized the restored inner bodies, again the young student would ask that he might take his portion of life and go forth, usually to redeem the world. Another blind alley, for the most part, because the one who might remain true to such a course, there would be 1,000 who, through motivation, by sincere desire and raising of the race, would be soon caught up in the momentum of the people, and the life energies blend with the ways of the world. I'm going to read this a little more. Today, the Christ cells of 200,000 life streams presently incarnate upon the planet Earth have applied to the cosmic law for permission consciously to impress and direct the outer cells which they have sustained through the centuries. This grant has been given, and I myself have stood sponsor for each one. My service is to prepare the field for the sowing. In other words, it is my particular service to reach the outer consciousness and make it willing to accept the God design and receive the spiritual bridegroom, the present now. In this manner, the Christ self through each one may stand revealed in all glory, and the perfection which the Master Jesus manifested in his mystery. You who have gathered here on this day know something of what it is required of you. Surrender of that outer self to the presence of God that beats your heart, constant, consciously returning of your attention to the presence as the directing intelligence, until you become acquainted and with its nature, devoted to its purpose and sensitive to its slightest prompting, not only in times of contemplation, but in the noisy, turbulent currents of the daily living as well. Your life must become a channel for power, the peace, the healing, the supply of your own presence, which is one with the Father and all life. This is your reason for being, and for this you came into the world. You shall know neither peace nor happiness until you fulfill this purpose consciously. Press your outer consciousness against the great body of God until you can actually and actively feel his strength, his omnipresence, his omnipotence, his vital health and well-being, his peace and his power. The nature of God is the most contagious of all natures, but you must expose yourself to its influence in order to embrace its presence alive within you and flowing through you to expand the borders of kingdom. Now, is there anyone that touched deep like it did me? A whole new awareness that I've always known that the peace lies within us, but I didn't understand maybe to the level I do now today, is that everything that's going on in the world and we find sometimes that we want to sit and criticize is still within us. It's that action that is preventing the ability for us to reflect the peace and harmony that we all want to carry in our world. So, what does anyone have to say about that? And I'm sorry if you didn't like me reading, but I thought the words were so meaningful. And it was like taking a lost animal to find home. For we are an animal and we are reaching inside to find our way home. Let me see if I still have my book here where it was. Of course not. Here it is. So this is the light description of you. This is you. You have the violet flame to hold against around you. And this is your higher self here. That who knows of your world and also the world of God. This is your presence. This is where we're all wishing to attain for this level of God. There are planetary levels, there's cosmic levels, all different kinds of other levels to reach once you attain this. So in this, you'll see that growth upward is through clarity. So whatever that is that you might find within yourself needs to be embraced and loved. Okay, let me see here. Very helpful and beautiful. It is hopeful and encouraging that we do matter. Each one of us and each breath matters because we're a part of the whole. Remember, the greatest words that God's ever said to any of us is, "You are at one with me." And what we're on our journey is to become that oneness. Just learning from your knowledge. Thank you. All right. What did you feel about it, Barbara Ward? Here you are. No, I Am Peace. That's one that you wrote before. Mm-hmm. Here she is. That reading perfectly summarizes what is happening today and what our role is in the creation of peace. Isn't that amazing? And we know it's centuries old. It also shows us how life, whether it's on earth or wherever it is you've been throughout time, always repeats itself. And that's why it says you can always look at history and have a determination of what's the best choice to do in this moment. That's why you hear him so much say about what's happened in other presidencies, what America has done here and how it's felt. That's why, because it's uh, powerful so we can have a choice of how we want to be that in our today's world. And I know for me, I would love to see everyone in love with themselves and each other, and for there to be a great peace. And I was first told about the earth being within me when I got a soul painting, big one, from this lady. And she painted me with the earth within my heart. So from there, I knew, because I trusted what she saw, that must be so for every soul. We just aren't aware of it yet. So your heart is always there for you to have interactions, and it has your thoughts. How many are finding that more of what you think now is manifesting, whether it's good or bad. So it's a very powerful time for us to be very watchful over what we're thinking because it'll manifest. I have some clients that are learning so much about themselves by realizing that what they thought is coming into their world. So, Cavell, did you have anything you wanted to share today about that reading? Hopefully your internet has worked and you're still there. Does everybody understand what it all meant? What it means? Okay. Oh, she's telling you to hit the button. Yeah. Change. And it always says that change is the greatest resistance. Well, why is it calling for change? Because what we've done is, like the book said, we've taken our ability to be free and stepped on it, stifled it, given it away. All the different things, but just being in the love and sharing that surrender of the truth with God, of just wanting to be the light. I have met people like that. I have met some of the masters that live as masters. And we saw a lot of monks when we were in Thailand. You could just feel the holiness and see the aura around them. And they would always give you this little gold trinket, I would have thought it, until we realized everything we desired started happening, because they were all blessings. They would all just give you blessings and hand you this token. Well, it was real. That's a lot. That trip made me believe. On that trip, I fell. My foot turned black. We thought it was broken. We were going to see a Buddha that was 8 years old. There was a Buddha called the Black Monkey who passed, and he gave his magical gifts to 3 boys. And the boy we were going to see had the ability to heal with his heart. So I think I was like the third person. Oh, I fell and look at my foot. It's all black. Could you bring healing to it? And the interpreter said, Buddhists can't do anything with feet. And she was sorry. And he just looked at me and he smiled. And I'm thinking, well, all about myself. Oh, how wonderful this is. Now I come and I can get my foot healed. And let me just say to you, as we sat there, all these little things that look like black ants started dissipating out of my foot and into the ground. Might have taken a half an hour, but everyone's now watching my foot. So what we realized is he didn't touch my foot, but he sent me light from his heart, and in that he gave me that gift and shared that with me because I can heal without touching with my heart. But I was able to get up and walk normal. All that in that tradition, they see karma as a black image. So when that blackness, it's like little bugs down into the ground, and I'm done. You can understand why my faith became so strong while I was there in Thailand because of the things God showed me and how to believe. So let's see what we have here. Don't mean to talk so much about myself, but I can remember it. I remember now. Remember how your foot and all those little bugs came out. Was it really bugs? No, but it's how the movement of a karma happened. I looked to my higher self to find my peace in my human self's body feels the heavy energy of the present. Very good. And Barbara Ward says, yes, we keep being reminded of the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without. We cannot be in turmoil within and expect peace to happen. I do that prayer every day as I sit and before I do my meditation and after I do it. It's very powerful. And I also say, I choose to be a part of the many mansions of my Father. For there is a journey through many mansions as we're on this journey of becoming light. So let's see what Lauren says. Jesus stopped by the other night to visit me. First I smelt him and then I felt him behind me. It was great. I'm sure it was a wonderful experience. So, does anyone else have any questions? So this was our teaching today here on our Eye of Horus session. So you want to maybe remember, this is the vision on the little book. It has a lot of info on it. I think you can get it from the I Am section, right to the I Am people. Because this is the chart of your divine self. And I want you to just think how much we've done walking around the world, picking this stuff and having it grab onto us. Almost everyone I work with, if I haven't worked with them before, first thing we do is clear off everything. Because then you really can't find yourself. You can't define who you really are. And it's a daily practice. A daily practice. So, any other questions? Did you enjoy me giving you a reading from the Masters that are? Well, this is the Eye of Horus teaching Mondays. And if you know what the Eye of Horus is, that is a part of your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is certainly part of what we talked about today. And how are you using it? How are you perceiving your world? What are you choosing to own as baggage instead of own as your light? So that's what we do on Mondays, is the Eye of Horus work. And which is the journey. It's a protective symbol that you can have that protects all negative away. We've had a friend that went on a river rafting trip to Alaska, and it was very dangerous. They got stuck on a little piece of snow or ice where they didn't think they were going to be able to cross over. So she wore her eye of Horus. I gave her mine and started standing and speaking to God. And all of a sudden, the wind stopped. There was a terrible storm. The wind stopped, and the airplane that could come and get them was able to land. And they got boats then to get across, and they were able to come home. So, yeah, Eye of Horus is a powerful thing. It's on the other side here of this. I always have it up. And it's a good protector to have in your home, or to even wear. A lot of people now are wearing them. Lauren says yes, she enjoyed it. Is everybody here still with me? All right. Gives you food to think, right? I hope you come back, Jules, Barbara, Andy. Delphi, did you enjoy today? I'm just trying to find what you like for my channel to be here for you for. So I think today, for my reasoning for doing this, it helps you, if you choose to see a new value in every step you take, every word you speak, every thought you have. There's a purpose to all of it. And Barbara says, yes, thanks for the reading. Interesting to hear how Serapis Bay spreads the wings of peace across the planet and the actual boundaries. Yes, I read somewhere else, and I'm not going to be able to say, but they addressed the earth because they knew that's where man lived. And that's why they speak different islands and that type of thing. Well, thank you, Jules and Delphi and Marby. And Jules says, thank you so much. Well, it gives me opportunity. It might not be all the time, but if I see something, like I was delving into a deep place this weekend, and I thought everyone should hear. Can you imagine if everyone out in the world had that information to know that what their judgment is about how people are living and being is from within themselves? And if we all have what's the word I want to use? The ability to just be in the love and to embrace, that could help change everything. Well, as you know, they say a huge shift is coming. So maybe a lot of people are going to wake up. The last I heard, 3% of the world is awake, which myself, I live in that. Perhaps you have a real awareness of that, but it's just not enough. And we can't make it happen. It's a choice. So the more we can be in demonstration of that truth, the more people will wonder. I mean, people go, they look at me and she goes, when I went to even to go to the car lady, she goes, you're different. I go, oh, okay. She says, you're so happy. I go, this is just how I always am. But people will notice it and they will feel it. And that's what we need to make a difference in our world. So I'm glad you all liked it. Yes, at least we know today, however many of us there are, is going to make this world a better place today. Because we have Mother and Father inside our hearts, all the masters and all the angels, and we're going to see the world through different eyes, perhaps, through God's eyes. All right, so I will be back tomorrow, and we'll do more messages from Mother. As you understand, she's doing them from a healing arena. That's just how my path evolved it. I do healing versus the psychic. God bless them. But everybody's different. Everybody has their own way. All right, I'm going to let you go. Running over. Many blessings. See you tomorrow.